So a top food CEO has given us an unbelievable, incredible warning, all right? What he is saying is the future, all right? This is coming in 2023. 2023 is right around the corner, all right? We've all been hoping that, maybe this will go away by the end of the year, something like that. It's not going to. It's going to get a lot worse, according to this major food CEO. All right. So he's warning us, you need to get prepared now. You need to stock up now, stockpile now. Do you have these staples in your pantry? Are you used to eating, canned foods? All right. It tastes a little bit different. Canned chicken tastes a little bit different than normal chicken. All right. Have you ever eaten, canned sausages or Spam or Vienna sausages, something like that? Tastes a little different, you know what I mean, than the things you've normally eaten. So get used to eating this stuff now too. That's a big part of it, because you don't want to, you don't want your body to reject these things because you think it doesn't taste good when this is your survival food. So also get used to it. Stock up, get a 20-pound bag of rice. All right. This is only going to get worse in 2023. That's what he's warning us. So let's dive in. Let's see what he's saying and make sure you're getting prepared, all right? Food CEOs all over the world have been giving warnings, but this is a huge one in America, all right? So this is the CEO of Kraft, Heinz, and he predicted in a recent interview that inflation will persist and more price increases will happen in 2023, all right? So this is a big player. This is Kraft. And they have a ton of products and a ton of different spaces in the food industry and Heinz. And they are warning of incredible things. They're saying that their price increases its pricing jumped 12.4%, all right, in 1 month. 12.4% in 1 month. That's what happened to their inventory. Okay, so that's getting passed on to you. And it's also one of these things, at what point does this stop? 12.4% in 1 month. All right, how is this possible to sustain, to keep up with? That is doubling, tripling of prices in the year. Okay, you've probably noticed your chips, your everything, all right? Bag of chips is like $8 now, $7 now, all right? It's insane, the prices we are seeing. So he went on to say, quote, "Every day we have a new problem. It's the new normal," he told CNN Business. Quote, "At the beginning, we thought it was a crisis. Now we know it's a new normal and we have to adapt to it." All right, so he's just saying it's normal. We used to have, these problems and think they're going to go away. But they're not going to go away. This is the new normal of having shortages and having price increases constantly. 12.4% price increase, all right? This is insane. This is unsustainable. And he said, every day there's a shortage of something. And he gave shortages of tomatoes, potatoes, and beans. He said, quote, "We predicted that we would have a problem with the crop of tomatoes, so we bought them in advance." All right. So they know what's happening. They can see behind the scenes that farmers are struggling. The yields are low, and farmers are warning fertilizer prices are too high. They haven't been fertilizing. They've been reducing planting. So the yields that we are seeing are also reduced. All right. It's direct correlation, fertilizer on the field and seeds to yield, all right? Direct correlation, but it's also direct correlation to input costs and price for the farmer. All right, so he's warning this is the new normal. This is not going away, and it's going to get worse in 2023, all right? And you're not over here calculating everything, calculating the price increase on every item, but they are saying 12.4%. That is unsustainable. That is almost getting to Venezuela levels, Argentina levels. When do we hit these levels of inflation that are so crazy that nobody can keep up with it? When do we hit these points? Because even if there is, plenty of stuff on the shelf, what if it just costs too much? What if your dollar just doesn't stretch enough? Because it's just, normally inflation's 2% or whatever, so you can kind of keep up with it. If you get a raise every few years, 5-10% raise, you can kind of keep up with it, even it out, okay? But with inflation at these insane rates, these monthly rates that are so high, how are you supposed to keep up with? You're just losing money, all right? You're technically, even if you get a raise, if inflation on certain products are 12.4%, even if you get a 10% raise, you're still down 2.4% on these items, right? With the inflation. So it's going to get to a tipping point where people can't afford to buy the food. It's unaffordable to buy based on the wages we are getting paid, right? So when do we reach this tipping point? Same thing with, government programs, EBT, electronic benefits, all this stuff. I totally get it, okay? If you're on this stuff, I've been there before, right? I've been in situations where I've had to use this before. But that's not the point. The point is, what happens, people that depend on these benefits, what happens when they can no longer afford to buy the food, right? They can just say, oh, we're going to just put more money on the cards, but then doesn't that just create more inflation because it's just government money being created to buy more products? Won't that just jack up inflation even more? I feel like we are really in this rut of this inflation spiral that seems very difficult to get out of. And especially when it's hitting things like food, what are we supposed to do? Everyone has to eat, all right? I've seen stories of people saying that by the end of the month, and I've been in this situation a million times too, all right? By the end of the month, you are waiting, or by the end of your pay period, you are eating peanut butter and jelly and ramen and stuff because you are just waiting to get paid again because prices are skyrocketing, all right? And it's just getting worse and worse. What about people on Social Security, fixed incomes, disability, all right? My dad was on disability, VA disability, he had full disability, and he was on Social Security. And I can't even imagine him being able to survive now. His rent was only $600 10 years ago, a decade ago. It was $600 in Florida. Can you imagine $600 rent in Florida? $600. Can you imagine that in Florida? That doesn't happen anymore. That's not a thing. All right, sorry about that. I had to click out this little thing. But that doesn't happen anymore. $600 rent in Florida. He could afford it then, but I can't imagine him being able to live on his retirement and disability money in this situation, all right? So let me know what you guys think. The CEO of Heinz is giving us a warning saying it's not going to get better for 2023, all right? It's not getting better. So get prepared now, guys. Learn how to grow food, get these skills now, and get stocked up now too, right? Just get a ton of rice, canned food, canned meat, canned vegetables, canned all this stuff, and beans, and like that's the basis of it. And then you can just get stuff you like to like add with that and actually make it taste good, you know what I mean? And make sure you have a way to cook everything too. Make sure you have a little propane stove or a wood stove or some way to cook stuff too when it hits the fan. All right, so thank you guys for watching. Stay prepared, stay blessed, guys, and you guys have a big old blessed day.